Hey guys, today I'm going to show you everything you need to know about setting up this Floodlight security camera combo by Escam. I'll install it over my garage door, we'll check out the footage, in addition to the two-way audio and the alarm features. We'll set up the app and even connect this one to my network video recorder and to my PC using BlueIris recording software. So let me start off by saying how excited I am to be creating this video. I've been eyeing one of these all-in-one Floodlight security camera solutions now for quite a while. These are meant to be wall mounted and can be installed on any round or octagon junction box and hardwired into your home's electricity. It has Wi-Fi ability and can be monitored remotely over your mobile device. It's available in both black and white and cost about $200 US. Sometimes they go on sale for $170, but if not, I'll share a $30 coupon in the description below so you can get it for $170. I'm not sure when the coupon expires, so do check that out. Now, this is not an ad for Escam. I'm going to tell you what I like and what I dislike about this product. Let's dive into the box and see what you get. We have a user manual. It's well written. The English is pretty good. It has lots of great pictures for helping those with limited knowledge on getting the electrical wiring set up and where to install the camera. So make sure to give that a read. Tips on Wi-Fi configuration, extra information if you're having some trouble getting it connected to your Wi-Fi. A card on how to adjust the lighting angle, and there are QR codes so you can download the app called Floodlight Cam. A business card with warranty information. A Phillips screwdriver with an Allen bit at the other end. The plastic handle can act as a wrench for tightening those post screw caps. Some wire nuts. 4 screws for attaching the bracket to your junction box. Now this is neat. It's an S-hook. It's used to support the fixture to the junction box while you're working on the wiring. We have 2 stickers to notify people that you have cameras. Not a bad idea since some locations do require notification before you can record people, and it's good advertising for Escam. So this is the plate to cover the junction box. It has 2 mounting posts, thick sponge around the outside of it for weather sealing, and the word up on it to indicate the orientation during the install. There's also a grounding screw. We have the 2 mounting screw caps and 2 washers which go on the mounting posts before the screw caps, and lastly the device itself. Okay, so it's quite heavy. No wonder the base is made out of metal and the light fixtures are metal. So yeah, pretty impressive. The 2 LED lights produce a warm 3000 Kelvin temperature and provide almost 1600 lumens between the 2 12-watt lights. The lights are adjustable depending on where you want to install the fixture, simply by swiveling the head when loosening the pivot points. The camera has a viewing angle of 140 degrees and records at 1080p. The unit is also adjustable and can be positioned depending on how you install the fixture. On top of the camera here, we have a reset button. Hold it for 5 seconds and it resets the unit back to factory default settings. So located on the back of the camera is a slot for a micro SD card, and it can hold cards up to 128 gigs. That's about 6 days of footage if you're recording continuously. You can play back the footage through the app, and I think you can even drop the card onto your PC and play back the AVIs without any special tools. I really like this option because it removes the need for cloud storage and yearly subscriptions. Footage can also be stored onto your NVR or using NVR software for your PC, such as BlueIris. We'll get to that in a few minutes. On the bottom of the camera, we have a PIR sensor, and that covers an area of 270 degrees. This is not the same as the camera's motion detection. Also built into the bottom of the camera is a 110 decibel alarm, and that can be triggered automatically when motion is detected or manually through the app. It also serves as a speaker for two-way audio. The 2 IR LED lights above the lens are used for night vision. Here is the photo eye sensor next to the camera lens, and that's used to change the camera's mode from daytime to nighttime depending on the lighting conditions. On the back of the device there are 3 wires, and that makes me happy because oftentimes we have items come over from China and there's no ground wire, but we're all good here. There's a great diagram on Amazon and in the manual which perfectly illustrates the order of parts when mounting the fixture onto your junction box. One thing that I did notice though, on the back of the device, there's no RJ45 port for hardwiring the camera into my network. When adding the camera to your mobile device, simply scan the QR code tag on the fixture and all of the basic IP address information and connectivity happens automatically for you, so it makes it super easy to set up. It's important to note that this device can only be used on a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi network. Make sure that your modem or your router supports 2.4 gigahertz. I'm going to plug mine inside here and get it set up before doing the install outside, just to make sure that everything is functioning as expected. So on my mobile device, I'm already connected to the 2.4 gigahertz network. So let's get the app downloaded. So you can just download it directly. The app is called Floodlight Cam, or you can use the QR code on this card. So now that the app is downloaded, allow it to send notifications. Scroll through the 3 welcome screens. Hit the plus in the upper right hand corner to add a device. Click first add and then select the floodlight camera device. So this is basically a notice to keep your Wi-Fi source and camera nearby. Okay, so give the device a name. Hit continue. Hit continue again. Yes, I heard the chime. Yes, allow access to my camera. So I'm going to scan the QR code. Enter my Wi-Fi password, and I'll update the camera default password here in a second. Okay, yeah, great, so we're in. So let's do a quick lag test. Not too bad. So let's turn the light on and off. Wow, that's bright. And turn the light off. Good, very responsive. As soon as I push the button, the light turns on or off. So let's update the credentials. Click on the gear icon. Now go to modify device password. The current password is admin. And enter my new password. And click confirm. That's done. So I've already verified with my phone that I have good connectivity out by my shed on the 2.4 gigahertz network. So let's go get this installed. The breaker is shut off, and I ensured the electrical lines are dead. Following the install guide from earlier, here's a quick time lapse showing how easy this fixture is to install. And within 15 minutes, it's fully installed. Now I really want to give the app the time it deserves. In fact, I'll create a second video showing all of its features, but long story short, the app it's great. If you want to see how it operates, like setting up the motion detection zones, sending pre-recorded messages to the speaker, and formatting the micro SD card, do check out that video. In the meanwhile, let's check out some footage and the common app controls. I am 25 feet away. I am 15 feet away. I am 10 feet away. I am 5 feet away. First off, awesome coverage, good sound, and good detail. You can't get a good feel for the color here because the grass is dead, but it does do a good job on color detail. At 15 feet away, you can easily read this license plate. This device will work great in the suburbs if you have a 20 to 40 foot long driveway and want to record activity around your yard or your alleyway or even around a business. It would be perfect. At night, the IR lights are quite dim. I'd like to see them a little bit brighter. Once the PIR sensors are triggered by my motion, the floodlights illuminate, and the huge increase in light causes the cameras to switch over to daytime mode. We can't read the license plate due to its reflective surface, but that's expected. The PIR sensor picked me up from about 30 feet away. From the side view, let's check out how bright these are. Just perfect. Now the light button here has 3 settings on it: on, off, and auto. Auto will turn the light on for a predetermined time when the PIR sensors pick up motion. It's very responsive when I'm on my own Wi-Fi or on a cellular network. On the second page here, there's a mic button. Hold it down, and once the counter starts, you can begin to talk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is this a test? Under storage, we have all of the pictures and footage. Play it back, save them to your phone, take out the micro SD card, and save the AVIs to your computer. Now let's check out that siren at 10 feet away, 50 feet, and 300 feet. Alright guys, I'm going to trigger the alarm here from 10 feet away from the camera. This is now 50 feet away. And we're now 300 feet away. Not only can you record the footage on a micro SD card, you can connect this camera to BlueIris or even your NVR through ONVIF. This is another feature about this camera which surpasses the big name Floodlight cams. Allowing access to the footage on other recorders is always a plus, since I already have these set up to be recording footage and accessed remotely. To get access to the camera's IP address, install this Light IP search tool. This link will be in the description below. Go through the setup wizard and you'll be presented with the camera's IP address in the IP address management tool. Mine is 192.168.0.119. So now in BlueIris, select a channel, give the camera a name. On the video tab, fill in the IP address and enter the credentials from the app. Make sure generic ONVIF is selected. On the audio tab, enable this feature. Once the video stream appears, listen to the audio through your PC by clicking on the headphones in the bottom right hand corner. On my NVR here, which is connected to my network over the LAN port, find an empty channel. Click Edit, update the IP address, select ONVIF and the credentials, and now the footage from your Floodlight cam is getting saved to your NVR. Pretty awesome. Now let's check out a quick 24 hours of footage. Lastly, if you want to take this camera a step further, you can access its web user interface. There are more advanced features here, but it's not pretty. It's just basically a placeholder for this advanced setup. There's one thing though I want to bring up on the user page. There are two extra users here, one called user and one called guest. Looks like the passwords are user and guest. I'm not a security nut, but I'm going to update these passwords just to be safe. You can also set your IP address to static here if required. So my long anticipated wait for this Wi-Fi Floodlight cam has certainly paid off, especially at this price point. The hardware is high quality and I love that the SD card slot and ONVIF abilities make this camera a step above its competitor. The camera's motion sensor and PIR sensor are very sensitive, and even the wind would set it off by moving the grass and the leaves. And it looks like I had a visit from a cat and a bunny. The physical install was super easy. It took about 15 minutes. The free app is easy to understand and to connect to the camera. There's little to no lag, and the speaker, including the two-way audio, are quite impressive. The footage is good, and the lights offer plenty of light for a space up to about 75 feet. So yeah, I'm happy with it. I think this is everything you need to know about getting this product up and running. Check out my app review video to see more detailed features. Product links are in the description below. Please give me a thumbs up if you found this video helpful and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.